And sometimes if you wait for opportunities to happen, you might be waiting forever. And sometimes you just have to run. Even if you're not talented at something, but perseverance is the key to success. So if you keep going at it, if you do it and you try hard enough, I think you can become good at anything in life. So I think probably effort.
แม่น่าเริ่มแบบโอ้โหนี่แม่งมึงจะเอาอะไรจากกูนักหนาเนี่ยถามลึกจังแม่น่าบอกกูไม่น่ามาเลยวันนี้ไม่มาเพื่อมาโดนจับผิดล้วนๆเลยวันนี้สวัสดีครับ Amanda is our guest today. I must say that personally we've never had a conversation together, so today will be super interesting. It's like meeting someone new, and I hope that everyone will get the same perspective that I get. And every time I ask around, whether it's from mutual friends or mutual colleagues, I ask, how is Amanda? What's Amanda like? And they all say that she's a very intelligent person. She's very sweet, very lovely to work with, and very dedicated to everything that she does. And if you look at her profile, she can pretty much do it all. She could sing, she could dance, she can act. She's been on numerous competitions. She also studied business management. So I think that for her to be able to have the career that she has, it's not only how beautiful she is, but it's also the way that she thinks. And that's something that I really want to learn from today. And I hope everyone who is watching and who is listening will learn the same thing. So yeah, I think that's enough for the introduction. Let's go meet Amanda. And so I was going through like a lot of your background, and then we had like a team doing research, and then we were like going through like all these keywords, and something that couple of the keywords that really came up that really I found interesting was personal development, self-confidence, empathy, and mental and emotional strength. Right. All right. Okay. So I'm just going to have a bit of this or that questions kind of based on that to like break the ice a little bit. So would you say, would you prefer challenges or comfort?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Oh, so early on, right?
So early on. I think everybody obviously prefer comfort, but you can grow without any challenges. So I think a balance of a bit of both would be the ideal kind of life.
Would you tend to learn from failure, or avoiding mistakes?
You learn from failure for sure, because without failure, you won't grow. And that's how I kind of take life too, because I get asked this a lot, that if I could go in the past, what would I change? And I said that probably nothing, because you're not going to learn anything without failing, and that's how you grow and become better at it.
Yeah. And are you, I feel like, are you like the kind of person that is very hard to take advice? You have to like learn it from yourself and make that mistake yourself, or are you like a real learner? You get influenced by like people that teach you stuff?
I think I go through life with like an open mind. I take advice. But I think it's the best way is just to learn them yourself, but also have an open mind too to take advice.
What matters more, effort or talent? You did not expect these questions today, right?
Effort or talent? I think effort, because even if you're not talented at something, but perseverance is the key to success. So if you keep going at it, if you do it and you try hard enough, I think you can become good at anything in life. So I think probably effort.
Okay, so you went to high school in Phuket. You went to the British International School. You went to the university in Toronto. You're half Canadian.
Yes.
You did economics and business management.
Yes.
Am I right? And you're also first class honor, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Do you think that like, because now you're in the entertainment industry, do you think that concentrating and really working hard at school has like helped you a lot, even though you're not 100% doing what you studied?
Yeah. It definitely helped me, because it made me stay focused in what I was doing. So growing up, I was always really good in school because
mm-hmm.
it's gonna sound weird, but because on weekends I would like to hang out with my friends.
Okay.
So then if I get straight A's and finish my essays, finish all my homework,
right.
then my parents cannot complain if I go hang out with my friends.
Okay.
And that's how I kind of took it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would always try to be good at school, so then I can go play. Yeah.
So you're like kind of a work hard, play hard kind of mindset.
Yeah, definitely. I think you have to keep a good balance with your relationship with work, school, and also friends and family.
But at the same time, like there's like if we were to go back, because like I could see that we come from a very similar background, like from a same kind of upbringing. Like you have those, you have like friends that are really good academically, and you have those guys that are really good at sports or at art or something. And then you have people like yourself that like manage to kind of do both, you know.
Right.
Do you think that is something that you thank yourself for doing both? Because academically, even though you're very good at it, it doesn't mean that you're gonna go far in life. It's all about like the experiences that
Exactly. I think I do thank myself for being able to keep a good balance. I mean, it's not like it's like an easy road. I struggle sometimes when the subjects become really hard, and that would take me back from the time that I could spend with my friends. But I feel like it made me grow into an adult where now that I'm working, I can keep a balance between, working and also spending time with friends and family and being able to multitask, I guess. Yeah.
And Toronto is where you went?
Yes.
You're half Canadian. Are you from Toronto?
Actually, my grandparents are from Holland.
Okay.
And they migrated there, I think, after the World War II. And they stayed in Nova Scotia.
Where is that? It's in Canada?
It's in Canada.
Okay.
Nova Scotia.
Okay. And how was life there in university?
Very cold. Very, very cold. It was like, even though I'm half Canadian, I kind of felt the culture shock, because coming from a tropical island, growing up in Phuket, spending the weekends on the beach, and then going to Toronto, it was -20.
Yeah.
And with wind chills, felt like -40. I was like, oh my goodness, like my body cannot handle this. But I kind of got used to it afterwards. And I even told my dad, I was like, you know what, Dad? Since I'm going to uni in Canada, I think I'm just going to stay here after this being said. Saying this before actually going there. Okay. And as soon as I graduated, I'm like, Dad, I gotta go back. I told the university, here's my Thai address. You can mail my certificate. Thank you very much.
But it is very cold. Like my sister just got married to someone from Toronto, and I was there for the first time like last summer. And I could see that it could get absolutely freezing. But it's such a beautiful country, right? Beautiful. It's absolutely amazing. It's like, did you go around? Did you travel around Canada, like to like?
Oh yes. Being that I study in Toronto, we would go to Niagara Falls a lot, me and my friends, and then would travel to Montreal. That's like where all the cool kids go, and also to Vancouver. It's beautiful. I think it's my favorite place in Canada.
Okay. And after you came back from university, like from my inside research was like you went through a phase where like you weren't sure what you were gonna go do next.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And was that the drive for you to sign up to compete for the MUT in 2020?
Well, I actually started with Miss Thailand World.
Okay.
So came back from uni, not really sure what I was going to do because being from Phuket, if you were to do business there, it's usually hospitality.
Right.
And I'm not one to please people. So I was like, I don't know if I want to get into hospitality. What should I do? And I kind of moved to Bangkok and when I was younger, I never thought of competing in a pageant ever, because I didn't understand it. I was thinking, why would I want to be on stage and let people judge me in wearing a bikini? Like that's not what I want to do. And because when I was growing up, I like going to the beach, very tan.
Yeah.
And back in the day in Thai culture, the norm is you have to be pale. They have to be like on the lighter skin side, a long hair, and really not too tall to be pretty. And I was none of those. So I was like, I can't compete. And then it changed when I came back from uni and someone was like, oh, do you want to come compete in a pageant? And I was like,
who was that? Like someone just randomly?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, can I do that? Am I pretty? So I think that kind of like sparked the interest because I was kind of thinking like, why not?
And that day, when you and I first met for the first time, I don't think we had a conversation that day at all, but I remember everyone in there were saying that you were gonna win. Like everyone, like really, like even the people competing, because like I had like a couple friends that were in the same lun as you, right? And like the puyais, even the sponsors and everything. Like, did you feel that, hey, I could win this? Like,
no, even towards the end, even on the final day, when I decided to do the Miss Universe, I thought, okay, this is like the COVID time. Nobody's gonna come, So I was the first one to announce, oh yeah, by the way, I'm coming to compete. And then once you're actually in it, and then you go and do all these activities, you realize all the other girls are so pretty as well, and they're so smart. And I really had no idea that I was gonna win because all the girls were great.
But did anyone like whisper like, I think you're gonna get it? I think you're gonna get it. มีไหม
มีบ้างแบบพี่ด้ามงแน่เลย But it's just their opinion, right? And that doesn't mean that I'm gonna win. And I'm like, oh, thank you. But still, it's still a competition. There's only one crown. Yeah.
But how was that whole experience now that you look back? Because you won, and then correct me if I'm wrong, and then you were the representative to go to Florida, was it?
Yes.
How was that experience from, like you said, like you came in not thinking that you would want to compete, to coming in, to people around you telling you that you might win, to winning, then going to Florida, and the whole country is like hoping for you. How was that whole experience now that you look back?
It's phenomenal. It was amazing. And to be honest, when I was younger, I didn't know why I would go up there for people to judge me, but actually it kind of changed my whole perspective of pageantry because going in, it actually boosted my self-confidence so much. And I'm surrounded by great people now. And, one of the most amazing memory that I can remember from competing the Miss Universe in Florida was that, okay, even though there's only one crown, that doesn't mean that you have to put others down to pull yourself up. And there was this moment during backstage for the preliminary competition where all the girls were backstage, and no matter who was going out, so it's like one by one, each country, all the girls backstage was just cheering, like, Thailand, Australia, woo! And that really, I felt goosebumps then because it's woman empowerment. You don't have to put each other down, but you can praise one another and wishing the best for each other.
And everyone was in that kind of mentality.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I thought it was amazing.
I went to one of them. I think it was a year, like I'm not sure which competition it was, but it was hosted in Muang Thong Thani when I was like really young. And I remember the atmosphere is actually pretty amazing in that, right? Like you guys are all behind stage and you guys are like dancing really together, announcing one by one. Did you feel pressure going in at all, or were you just like, I'm gonna just go enjoy this experience?
So when I was doing the one in Thailand, Miss Universe Thailand, I felt more pressure than going to Miss Universe because in Thailand the competition is very high. Everyone wants the crown, But once I went internationally, not all the countries were there for the crown. Some of them were happy just to be there for the experience. And and I told myself before going that I'm not gonna let any pressure hold me back. I'm just gonna go have fun. That was my mentality going in. I was like, this is once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm not gonna have this ever again. Just gonna go have the most fun, make friends, and just be my best self.
And how do you prepare for that? Like, do you have to eat well, sleep well, be in your best shape, or you're just like, I'm just gonna be myself and go by the heart route?
Well, before going to compete, I would eat well. I would try to exercise regularly. But once I'm there, I would eat whatever. Just so that I have the energy, you know what I mean?
Mentally.
Yeah, mentally and physically.
Right,
but,
right.
Yeah, I try not to put too much pressure on myself and just to be your best self.
That session where they give you a question to answer on the spot and you're like count down, right? Is there a choice of what could come out like to prepare, or is it completely random?
Well, usually it's like global issues, right? That you have to prepare for, global warming, women empowerment, pollution, things like that. So you kind of know a way to study, but you never really know what the question's gonna be. But at least you kind of have some points that, okay, this is something I've heard of before, or I studied before. Yeah.
Because I was just thinking, like, if I was on stage in front of the world and someone asked me a question to test my like intelligence and also my morals at the same time, I think that would be the last time anyone would see me, you know what I mean?
And to be honest, like when I was doing the Miss Universe Thailand and the question came up, my God, I was so nervous. I was like trying not to shake. What was the question? What would you represent Thailand if you were to compete in Miss Universe?
Yeah.
And I answered myself. But like when you're there in the middle of the hall and everyone's just very quiet. Usually they're like cheering, but they're very quiet and they're just all staring at you and you're just like, oh. It's like when you're young and you're giving presentation in front of a class.
And then I gotta ask you, your shut plakat. How did that come about? Was that your idea?
Well, we had a competition for the national costume within the Thai, for the Thai contestants. And the Miss Universe Thailand team, they picked, I think, the 3 most liked outfits.
Okay.
Costumes.
Out of everyone that wore it.
Yeah, that wore it. And then we chose one to go compete. And the plakat was very much Thailand.
Right.
You know, with
it's
the
very
Thai.
Thai.
Yeah, it's very Thai. So.
Yeah. And you had a bit of a issue, right? When you went abroad with it?
It's very heavy.
Were you supposed to like, apparently, I don't know, like maybe you correct me if I'm wrong, but you had to like, you were gonna like put nam or something?
Oh yeah, there were bubbles. And I spent so much time backstage trying to put that thing together. And I'm just like trying to put the soap in, you know, trying to put everything. That took forever and I had no help. You have to do everything on your own. So I got the bubbles and, you know, I'm backstage waiting for Thailand to go out. And I was trying to do the bubbles, and then the backstage guy, and he was just like, Miss Thailand, what are you doing? It's like,
we don't have plakat here. You cannot do this.
I have my bubbles. He's like, no, turn that thing off.
Okay.
Because we don't want the next. So Spain was right after, and he was like, we don't want Spain, you know, slipping off your bubbles. And I was like,
so it's a safety thing.
I was like, okay, turn it off. It's a shame. It was really cute.
So to be in a position where you are like in that, I'm sure like, you know, like competitions that you have won, that you have been a part of, it's like the dream of Thai young girls, you know, and ever since we were kids, we always, this was always in the spotlight, you know, so it's quite a big deal to compete in that way. Like, what would you tell or say to anyone who is like, you know, wants to go down your route? Like, how can they win? How can they, or like, they don't have to win, but how can they be there? Yeah.
The first step is just to start. Just do it. Don't doubt yourself. I think the biggest problem that I had when I was younger was the voice inside my head. It was very mean, you know. I would wake up and I would tell myself, is this all you can do? Or, oh, you can't do that. You can't compete. There's so many other more beautiful girls than you. And once I realized that that voice was tiring me out, I tried to become nicer to myself, you know, because your voice is the most important thing. And I try to tell myself, oh, it's okay. If this is all you can do, I'm just so proud of you. Tomorrow's a new day. You can start over. And as soon as you start doing that and it becomes a habit and you're nicer to yourself, then your self-confidence will boost up and your self-esteem would be better. And I think the only person that can stop you is yourself. So I think if you really want to take this road to compete or even to do anything in life, just start doing it. Just gotta start. Because you never know what the outcome might be. You might be the new next Miss Universe. Yeah.
And after that, now you're like a triple threat, huh? You can act, you can sing, you can dance.
I cannot dance.
But yeah, you can. Can you not? Do you not feel? Is that like?
I think that's like the hardest thing.
I agree.
It's so hard to dance. My body's just not. I try, right? But yeah, I think that's the hardest one.
And because like one thing that like I found really interesting was the fact that like you competed, you won, you went abroad, and you managed to sustain your career for so many years after that. And to not disrespect or put anyone down, like you were saying, but a lot of people that compete in a stage similar to yours is like their peak of their career, you know, like that's the reality of it. But like, why do you think that you managed to keep going? Now you have your own single, you're on a Netflix show. But yeah, like what is the thing that you think kept you going and be able to have a good career? Like you've done really well, right?
Thank you. I think, like I said, perseverance is the key to success. And sometimes if you wait for opportunities to happen, you might be waiting forever. And sometimes you just have to run to find opportunities and to keep going. And also good luck, right? So I think just from the opportunities that the Channel 3 has given me as well. And, you know, that really, really helped my career as well to keep going. And whatever I do, I try to be good at it or just try my best. So, yeah, I think they probably see that.
You've pretty much answered a lot of the things. You mentioned a lot about self-confidence and self-acceptance, and it's something that is going through. And you're also an advocate for mental health, you know, which is something really, really important. Like from
Very important. Yeah. It actually started because mental health, I feel like not a lot of people understand. So when I was in high school, you could choose what kind of subjects you want to do, and I chose psychology.
Okay.
And it really intrigued me how amazing our mind could be and our brain. And actually, before doing economics in uni, I wanted to do psychology. But then I got there and I'm like, oh, I have to take biology. That's way too hard. But I think it's something that we still lack understanding in our society.
Right.
Because when you say mental illness, people say, oh, ซึมเศร้า. But there's so much more than that, you know? Because I even struggled with a eating disorder when I was younger.
Okay.
And no one understood what I was going through. Yeah.
Can I ask you more about that? Like,
sure.
like.
So when I was, when I developed this eating disorder, when I was in uni, my roommates held an intervention.
Okay.
To just, gather all the roommates and had someone involved, you know, asking, do I need help? Are you okay? Obviously, at the time, I didn't want to be better. So I was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm fine. But when I actually wanted help and I was already back in Thailand,
right.
I couldn't get the help even though I was asking for it.
Okay.
So I just thought, there needs to be a better understanding, because when I said I have an eating disorder, they're like, oh, ก็แค่ diet นี่ก็กินสิ
Okay.
It's like, it's not that easy.
Right.
Yeah.
So eating disorder is not eating enough. Is that
yeah,
correct?
and bulimia. Throwing
What's
up as well.
bulimia?
Throwing up.
Okay.
And yeah, not
all
eating.
right, that's quite tough, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, and you were mentioning like mental health, like it's not just ซึมเศร้า. Like what is a symptom? Because sometimes like people might have it but don't really realize that they have it. Like, what are the kind of symptoms that you may for like mental health? Yeah.
Well, it varies for different things. Because if it's depression, then that's like a whole other symptoms, right? If you're keeping to yourself, you're always in your room, not really interacting, or like they said, you could be the happiest one in the room and you could be the saddest, right? And for eating disorder, that's also different too. For if you're bulimic or if you're anorexic. I don't know. You just have to kind of find it. And even in Thailand, people always say, "Oh, คนบ้าข้างถนน." And they're not คนบ้า. They're just ผู้ป่วยคนหนึ่งที่ asking for help. And usually they're schizophrenic. They're hallucinating. They're seeing things, and you know,
That's schizophrenic is something that we're probably familiar with, like growing up with friends. We have artists that we appreciate that had it, so we know. But it is actually something that not is really spoken about in Thailand, right?
No, and if you get medication fast enough, you can really, you know, have the symptoms.
Right. So it's basically having two personalities. Is that correct?
Schizophrenic is when you're hallucinating, when the chemicals in your brains are imbalanced and you're seeing things that aren't there.
As a cause to like from trauma, or is it just natural?
I think it's just the imbalance in the chemicals in your brain. I'm not sure.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Oh, that's fine.
I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. You just feel. I just feel like you know everything. No, I'm just like learning from you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And in that, to get out of that is something that you really got to work on. And you once mentioned that having a strong goal is really important, right? Like, how important is it to live life with a goal?
I think it is important, but I think you also
แม่น่าเริ่มแบบโอ้โหนี่แม่งมึงจะเอาอะไรจากกูนักหนาเนี่ยถามลึกจัง I'm sorry
It's good มิว
โอเค
เพราะมิวช่วงนึงประกวด Miss Universe คำถามแบบนี้ตลอดเลยห่างหายไปนาน
Okay yeah
having a goal is important, but I think kind of enjoying the journey along the way is also important, because I think when I was younger, I'm always like, okay, this is my goal. And then I forget about all the little things in life to, you know, enjoy the journey, to have fun and things like that. Because sometimes the most important thing is not your goal, but it's the contentment of your life. It's to live life with
and
content.
You mentioned work-life balance, which is something that in this modern generation we hear so much, right? People are always trying to get work-life balance. Do you think it's possible to get work-life balance? I personally don't think so.
I don't know.
I find it very difficult.
I don't know, especially with the jobs that we do. Sometimes you can't control the schedule, and sometimes I go 7 days and I'm like, oh my God, I need 1 day off. You know, it's important to try at least.
How do you do it? Like, how do you make sure? Like, do you make sure you have time for your family, for your friends? Would you ever say no to a job if you felt like it was affecting your work-life balance? It's like lacons. They take up like half your life, right?
It takes up so much time, and you can't go anywhere. Can't change your hair color. But I think it's okay to ask for a day or two off, or, you know, if you think that you need some time to break physically and mentally, and to spend time with quality time with your friends and family. It's okay to ask for a break.
Empathy.
Yeah.
Okay, what is empathy to you?
Empathy is
I'm starting to feel bad.
Don't feel bad.
Okay.
It's not judging. It's to know that everyone's dealing with their own demons, you know, with their own issues, and you never know what they're going through. Even if you think that it's such a small issue, why are you worried about this? But to them, it might be the biggest thing. So for example, if it's a 4-year-old and they can't find their doll. And they're crying, and you're just like, oh, but it's fine, we'll buy a new one. But to them, it's the biggest issue for them right now. So you can try to understand, but just know that everyone's dealing with different things, and you have to walk in their shoes to understand.
And everyone thinks that their problem is bigger than other people's, you know what I mean? Like, because that's the problem that you're going through. I don't know. I have this one belief that everyone's stress level when it hits a peak, it's the same peak, just about a different thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But then it's very difficult to understand other people's problem. What is success for you? Like okay, you're in your 30s right now. Where do you see yourself at where's your next goal? 40, 50, retirement? Like, what is the future for you?
Work-wise, I don't really have a plan. I think my biggest goal in life when I was younger was just, there's this word that my dad always say, content, to be content with who you are, and that's kind of where you would find happiness. And whenever people say, oh, what's your goal? I would say just to find contentment and happiness in life, because I think that's like the most important thing that you can do, to wake up and being happy with who you've become, with yourself, and also to find joy in the little things in life. Like, for example, for me, I love watching the sunset. And being a girl that was born and raised in Phuket, I love watching the sunset by the beach. That gives me so much happiness, just to hear the waves and just the wind blowing at you and watching the sunset. Man, that's my happy place. So I think just no goal career-wise, but I would like to wake up and being happy with what I do, and that's I think is what.
Are you there yet? If you're 100% happiness, how many percent are you right now?
I think I'm kind of there.
I think you are.
Yeah,
I feel so.
I like what I do. I like waking up knowing this is my job. I love the people around me. It's so important to be surrounded by good people. And I say this all the time. I say I'm so lucky to have such amazing people to be surrounded with, and it's just so good. And yeah, out of 100, I say I'm 90. There's always room for improvement, right?
That is absolutely amazing. Amanda, you are amazing. Thank you so much for coming today. I just want to end with some like fun, random, quick fire questions, just in case we use it. Okay, just to get to know you a little bit more. Thank you so much for coming though. Like, we're going to end it again, but like I can't thank you enough. Like, you came all the way to Nam Dang. Where do you live? You live in Wachalapon. Not too far.
Not too bad.
Okay. Winter or summer?
Summer all the way.
Stars or the moon?
Stars.
What is your favorite breakfast menu?
Avocado and toast.
What is your go-to coffee?
Latte.
What is your favorite song on your playlist? Number one top all-time listen to song.
Where do I find that?
Like, do you do iTunes or Spotify? Or
YouTube Music.
YouTube Music. What is the song that represents you the most?
I like to listen to hip hop, but I feel like if I say my all-time favorite, maybe it should be my graduating song for high school. The Show Goes On. You know that song?
Yeah. Who's your favorite hip hop artist?
I love Russ. I recently saw Chris Brown.
อันนี้เด็กฮิปฮอปเนี่ย
ชอบมาก You like
Yeah. I like rock music. I love live bands and stuff like that. Where's the favorite place that you have been to in the world?
Whistler, Vancouver.
I really want to go there.
I thought I was going to go see Santa Claus. It was magical.
It's amazing, right?
สวยมาก Very beautiful.
It's a ski town ใช่ไหม What is the best thing about being famous?
What's the
แม่
best?
บอกกูไม่น่ามาเลย
ไม่
มาเพื่อมาโดนจับผิดล้วนๆเลยวันนี้
ไม่ได้โดนจับผิดแต่ว่ามันเป็นคำถามที่แบบไม่ค่อยได้โดนถามเนาะ What's the best thing about being famous? I think it's just that people recognize you more, and it's just like, I don't know.
That's fine.
It's a hard one.
What is your favorite quote? Do you have like a quote that you like stick by to or live your life?
This too shall pass.
Okay. I know where you got that from. You got that from Tom Hanks, right? It was at a round table.
Oh.
Huh? No?
No,
you have to watch it. It's like a round table of the Oscars. And then Tom Hanks was saying, no, not Tom Hanks. Yeah, I think it was Tom Hanks or Robert De Niro. And he was saying like, this too shall pass. Like, don't be too happy. Don't be too sad when things come. when things are going so right for you, be careful of the devil because it will pass and all that kind of stuff.
That's why you have to find contentment in life.
Contentment is a new word. What is a nickname your parents used to call you?
When I was younger, they call my mom and my mom's family would call me Yok Yoi.
Yok Yoi?
My hair was really curly when I was younger. But not really, just Da bang.
Your Da.
That's my
type. And your middle name is Charlene?
Charlene.
Where is that from?
My dad. Yeah, so a funny story. When I was in middle school, so going to school, I started with the Thai school.
Yeah.
And my name, Amanda Charlene Obdam. I'm like, มามีทำไมมันได้ไม่มีชื่อไทยเลยอ่ะ เพื่อนคนอื่นเขามีชื่อไทยหมดเลย She's like ก็พ่อไม่ยอมให้แม่ตั้ง ตอนแรกแม่จะตั้งชื่อลูกว่าสีสไลด์เกือบได้เป็นสีสไลด์ออฟดัมก็เลยว่าไม่เป็นไรก็ได้
Do you ever have problems with your like middle name? Like เวลาไปพาสปอร์ตไปต่างประเทศแม่งกรอกอะไรเยอะแยะไปหมดเลยปะ
My brother did. He had to take out one of his names because it was too long.
Right. And sometimes like the first name and the middle name is together, and sometimes the last name, and then you always have that problem at the immigration.
Yeah, recently. So I wasn't the one typing my name out, but my name, my middle name, it was Amanda. And then last name Charlene Obdam. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to have problems for sure. But thankfully I didn't.
If you have kids, would you give them a middle name?
Probably not.
Maybe give it to them and not put it on their
yeah, maybe
right?
just have it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it's a pain.
Well, how many hours of sleep do you need usually?
At least 7. I try. So if I have work really early, I'm already counting what time I have to sleep. To get
right, you do that before you
hours.
sleep?
Yeah.
Like พยายามนับให้ได้ right?
Yeah.
You think that's a mental thing though? Like sometimes you feel like you wake up and you're like so tired. I'm like, oh, that's because I only slept like 5 hours last night.
Probably because sometimes you're not even thinking. You only took 5 and you feel fine.
ใช่ไหม Sometimes if you get that good deep sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
I've heard a lot of good things about you, and a lot of people that you've worked with, I've worked with too. And I've just been asking around, and they all like say the same thing, that you're very dedicated to everything that you do. And I was at your opening of your song at the Channel 3. I think it was the one in M. Saphir.
Oh yes.
Yeah. How's your song going right now?
The one I was pole dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. My song's out now. It's called Eyes on Me. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's like pretty good views, right? In the first
pretty good
month.
Views, and yeah, I think it's just like a new experience that I've never done before. Never thought in my life that I would have a single, you know.
Yeah.
So
how did that come about?
So it came about when I did the To the Moon and Back, ละครมาตาลดา and they were looking for someone to sing for one of the soundtracks. And I've been on different shows where I had to sing, and Pizza.
Pizza Yosani.
Yeah, she kind of saw those shows and she's like, oh, why don't you sing? And that's how it kind of came about. So when Channel 3 was finding singers for their channel, then I was one of the names.
Okay. Is that like would you call yourself like at this point you're a singer at most? Like is most your work like singing or
I think I would still consider myself an actress.
Okay.
I think that's where I find my passion, you know.
Okay. So I like this one. Optimism or realism? I found out that you are a straight A student. You're very good academically. So I made sure I had to live up. Like I wanted to be as smart as you. So I had to think of cool words to ask you today.
Optimism or realism? Damn.
We could skip any of them, by the way.
It's okay. I kind of like both. You have to be an optimist in life. You have to look at life positively, but at the same time, you have to be realistic as well.
Self-improvement or helping others grow?
I think self-improvement, because once you improve yourself, then you can be the change and help others as well at the same time.
Do you need a job?
No.
Yeah, I'm looking for someone like you at my office right now, to be honest. Amanda, thank you so much. I don't want to keep you here longer. Thank you so much. That was absolutely amazing. Like I told you, because you work with Pija, I'm very close to Ban Pija.
Oh, she's so lovely.
Yeah, I'm very close to Pijet and a lot of their team, and I've been asking like Amanda เป็นยังไงบ้าง and stuff like that, and they've said very very nice things, and I can really see that today. And thank you for coming.
That's so sweet.
You want to maybe promote your Instagram or any projects you're working on right now?
Yeah, you can go follow me on Instagram. I usually post what I'm working on there.
Okay. Yeah. Do you do like YouTube or anything like that?
I'm trying.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you would be a good podcaster.
Really?
Yeah, just like this. Honestly, like a girl podcast, like self-love, I think people would listen to you.
Talk by myself or
No. Well, you can talk to yourself and have like guests over. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and you speak very well. You're very. เขาเรียกว่าอะไรอ่ะ Is it the right word?
พูดไปเรื่อย
Intellectual.
Intellect
ป่ะพูดแบบพูดชัดคำถ้อยเขาเรียกว่าอะไรนะพูด
ชัดถ้อยชัดค
ำโอเคขอบคุณทุกคนที่ติดตามครับฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์กด subscribe Talk to Talk นะครับแล้วเจอกันใหม่ EP หน้าขอบคุณพี่แอมแมนด้าครับ
ขอบคุณค่ะ